If you're seriously considering moving to Colorado Springs in 2024, these are some things you should seriously know beforehand before making any sort of decision. My name is Ben, and in this channel we make videos about what it's like to live and move to the Colorado Springs area. Having grown up in the area and then moved away and come back, I've gained a lot of experience on some of the intricacies of the area. Also, we are a team of realtors and would love to earn your business, so if you are getting any value out of these videos, we'd love to hear from you. But also, I just love talking about Colorado Springs. So give us a call or a text, we'd love to see how we can help. So really moving anywhere can be a little bit daunting, and in this video I kind of want to go over some of the things you really should know about Colorado Springs in the area, and some of the things I personally would want to know if I were moving to the area for the first time. And these aren't really good or bad things, they're just things you should know or plan for. So jumping straight in, number one is that Colorado Springs housing cost is still going to be about 10% higher than the national average. So if you're leaning towards Colorado Springs because it's cheaper than Denver, you are right, but it's still gonna be a little bit higher than you maybe would expect. For some context, the national kind of median home price is gonna be around $420, while Colorado Springs sits at about $80K higher at around $500,000. So if you're moving from a small town that's like below the national average to begin with, this is gonna feel super expensive. But if you're living in a big city, this could be a little bit cheaper than where you're currently at. So it's all kind of relative to what you're used to, but overall, still gonna be about 10% higher than the national average. Number two is, a lot of people don't expect it, but Colorado Springs is super far away from any skiable mountains. And it's honestly like super deceiving because you're so close to the mountains in Colorado Springs. They're like right there, but they're just not the right type of mountains. I think there used to actually be some like skiable slopes in like the Broadmoor Cheyenne Hills area, but that since stopped in like I think the early 90s. Just because they couldn't keep up with how much fake snow they had to produce. So really you have to travel around 2.5-3 hours to any skiable mountains. So if you're moving to Colorado Springs, or you're thinking about it because it's cheaper than Denver and you're really wanting to get into skiing or snowboarding, or you already are, do know it's going to take quite a bit of travel to get up to the mountains. So the third thing you should really know when moving to the area is that Colorado Springs has a very large military community and is one of the larger employers of the area, along with the like aerospace and defense sectors and healthcare. So if you're military or ex-military, you're gonna be in super good company. You're gonna have people who can relate to you, and a really good community where honestly, you're probably gonna receive about 10 to 15% off most places you shop. Having gone to school in the area, I remember they would have these like Veterans Day assemblies where the parents would be invited, and they would have the parents who were in the military or ex-military stand up so we could honor them. And it felt like 75% of my friends' parents were in the military or used to be in the military. And if you're not in the military and are moving to the area, do know they have some like training drills where they have planes fly super low, and it can be a little scary if you're not familiar or not aware that they're going to be doing this. So you'll see a lot of like bomber type planes or military helicopters, and it can be a little bit alarming if you're not used to it or aware. But it's really honestly super cool. The fourth thing you really need to know about the area is there's going to be a lot of options for assumable loans. So because there are a lot of military members within the community, quite a few people have purchased houses with VA loans. And you might be wondering, why does that matter? And it matters because if you're selling a house and you purchased it with either a VA or an FHA loan, you can actually have the buyer assume that loan, even if you aren't military. That really meaning you can find some homes that are at the lower 2.5 to 3% interest rate, as long as you have the buying power to cover the difference between the mortgage and the sales price. So this is like the ideal situation if you are selling your house somewhere else and moving to Colorado Springs and have a little bit of equity built up in your current house, because you can assume a lower interest rate and use that money that you have from your house to put into the new house. And a lot of realtors probably aren't going to tell you that because it does take longer and they're probably not going to want to have to wait. And I guess I should mention too, if you're looking for something like super specific, it probably is not going to fall within these assumable options, so you may have to be a little bit more open if you're hoping to go this route. The fifth thing you really need to know about Colorado Springs is it's not really a mini Denver. So you would kind of expect, given it being the second biggest city in Colorado, that it would honestly feel a little bit like Denver but smaller. And in all reality, Colorado Springs kind of feels like one big suburb where, aside from a super small downtown and old Colorado City just to the west of downtown, there's really just not going to be much urban life. So if you're someone who's looking to move here because it's a little cheaper than Denver, but you're still wanting that kind of urban feel, this may not be it for you. Like, there's still a good amount of like locally owned places scattered throughout the city. It's just not going to be anywhere near Denver. I personally like to kind of judge cities on what type of like coffee shops and breweries they have, just for like extra places to go when you're off of work or just hanging out with people. And in this regard, Colorado Springs does have quite a few good options. And if you're interested in us doing a video on like top 5 coffee shops or breweries, let us know in the comments. I'm honestly really curious. So number 6, you're probably already really aware of this point, but really want to emphasize it to drive it home. It is dry as hell here. So if you've come to the area to check it out, you've probably noticed everyone seems to carry water bottles around, and there's honestly a huge reason why. My internal compass, I feel like, is a little thrown off just because I did move from Colorado Springs to Florida back to Colorado Springs, so I'm comparing Florida to now Colorado Springs. But honestly, I always just feel like I'm drying out here. And I remember as a kid, I didn't have a good like routine when I would wash my hands to put like lotion on, and my hands, I remember they'd always be just like cracked and bloody. So if you're moving from a more humid climate, this is really going to take some getting used to. So the 7th and last thing that you really need to know, specifically if you're moving from anywhere in kind of the southern portion of the United States, is that radon testing is a thing here. So radon is essentially like a odorless, tasteless, radioactive gas, and it's produced when uranium or radium breaks down into like the rock in the soil. And this may sound like super scary, but in reality, about 30 states have elevated levels of radon, mainly kind of in the northern portion of the US. So Colorado kind of falls into the 9th highest state in terms of radon levels, and in all reality, you really just need to get some radon testing when you are purchasing a house. So that does it for my top 7 things you should really know in 2024 when you're moving to Colorado Springs. Let us know in the comments if you think we missed anything. And if you're looking to understand the area a little bit better, watch our series on the best areas to live. See you in the next video.